Welcome to Mubadala Trends, a thought-provoking and informative podcast series. In each episode, we host an elite group of experts and industry leaders to discuss some of the most prominent issues, such as investment, entrepreneurship, energy, environment, and technology. Follow us to learn more about how we create positive economic and social impact in various societies, both locally and globally. Stay current with Mubadala Trends.
Hello, I am Zayed and I'm a director in portfolio strategy at Mubadala, and I'm excited to be your host for today's episode of Mubadala Trends podcast. I'm delighted to be joined today by Ibrahim Ajami, Head of Ventures and Growth at Mubadala. Firstly, welcome to the podcast. And secondly, can you tell our listeners more about yourself and your specific role here in Mubadala?
Thank you, Zayed, and wonderful to be here today and share with you my story, and more importantly, our ventures capability and strategy at Mubadala. I've been at Mubadala for 15 years. Most of my tenure at Mubadala has been investing in technology, and we started building the ventures business in 2016. And 5 years later, nearly 5 years later, it's a global business that has investments all over the world, and highly regarded and respected in the technology industry. I've been in Abu Dhabi since I was 4 years old, so it's my home, and just really privileged and honored to play a small role in bringing technology to Abu Dhabi, and to playing an important role in shaping the future of Abu Dhabi with technology.
Fantastic. Nice to have a long-term Abu Dhabi resident here on the podcast. In terms of your role within Mubadala, your unit specifically, how would you see that it contributes to the overall mandate of Mubadala?
Mubadala started investing in technology around 2007, 2008. Our first foray into technology was in semiconductors. And in 2016, we launched the ventures business. And the premise of launching a ventures business back in 2016 was that technology was playing more and more of an important role in every aspect of our society, and that we had to become much more active in early stage investments. To be active in early stage investments, we took a very important decision to set up teams in the local important technology communities, starting with San Francisco and in London, and of course in Abu Dhabi. And this year we're also expanding that into Beijing. There was this strong belief and dynamic that ventures was local, and to be active in ventures and to be effective and successful, we really had to build a local team that would be quite embedded into the community. So what my role is really managing these global teams around the world that are very focused on making venture investments early on and working with the founders and helping them grow and build these companies.
Mubadala's been obviously Abu Dhabi headquartered, obviously since inception because of who we are. Moving into a global business and moving your teams and your presence, as you said, into San Francisco, London, and soon to be Beijing. How was that transition, and what are the sort of lessons learned for businesses that might be moving globally, specifically in the tech space?
Yeah, in the technology space, it was really important for us to build trust and demonstrate real value to the founders and to the investors in the community. You know, in our business, in the world of ventures, the key objective is to identify and partner with the most exceptional founders. So if you set that out as an important objective, okay, 1% of the founders out there, and what a great time it is today to start companies. I mean, we are meeting just amazing founders from all over the world. Technical founders, business founders, even graduates that are saying, there is so much opportunity for us to go and build companies. So if that's an important objective, then what we have to do in every decision, in every interaction, in every opportunity with all members of the community is ensuring that we are delivering on that commitment and supporting these exceptional founders as they build their companies. We've learned to have a steady hand. Mubadala is large, important, strong, well-resourced, that we're able to weather the storms and support our founders as a long-term and strong investor. One of our companies, again, in our Euro portfolio, Tier, which is a micro-mobility company across over 100 cities in Europe, in the start of the pandemic, their business plummeted by 90%. And an investor like us is able to take a step back and work with the founders to understand what the options as the business emerges from its crisis. And again, with early stage technology companies, these founders are facing crisis every single day. We focus extensively on understanding the founder's motivation and the narrative of the founder. Why is this founder starting this company? What is motivating this founder to do what she wants to do? How do we work with the founder in the right way, understanding their strengths and weaknesses? Is this founder committed long-term to really building an important company? That is a requirement for us, because we are very focused on building big, important companies. We're not interested in a quick exit for these and building small technology companies. And last but not least is, we want the founder to choose us as much as we choose that founder. We want the founder to understand us as much as we aim to understand them. Because again, it's a 10, 15-year relationship. So it's really important to build that trust and commitment. And it took us years to build that rhythm and that capability. You build your reputation every single day in the world of ventures, in every interaction, in every way you show up. So it's very important that we as a team globally have an aligned set of values. We represent Mubadala in every way we can, in the right ways, and we deliver on our commitments.
Specifically, what do we look for in founders, and specifically, what do you think they want to get from us as a partner?
We're competing with some of the best venture capitalists in the world. So how do you go to these founders and tell them, hey, choose us as Mubadala, in addition to all these great venture capitalists and investors that you choose? That took years to build, but we did it. I think we're learning, we're growing every day. What was important is, to remain humble, but also to really demonstrate excellence and hard work and commitment to these founders. Why do founders choose us? We have a very focused thesis. We know the areas that we're very focused on. We're very deep in them. Again, like I said, we have a local team committed to the communities, very active in these communities. We're also able to bring this unrivaled global network. The Mubadala brand is a powerful brand, and now it's a powerful brand in the world of technology. We are a good partner, a responsible partner. Partners reach out to us, other investors reach out to us for help all the time. We find ways to also help them as they grow their businesses. We have a network of over 100 companies around the world today, where we can introduce these companies to our startups as potential customers. So this global industrial access is something that not many other investors have. And last but not least is this concept of a life cycle investor, right? You identify the founder early, you support the founder, and if you have a winning formula between a founder, a product, and a market, Mubadala is going to double down and triple down on this company. And over the past 10 years, you've seen in the world of technology, these founders can build $100 billion companies. Companies like Didi and DoorDash and Airbnb, these were founded 10, 11, 12 years ago. So from our perspective, Recursion, which we identified in 2016 as a small startup out of Salt Lake City, has the potential over the next 5-6 years to be a $50 billion company. And if you fast forward, 10 years from now, and Mubadala continues to grow and double its size, our strong belief and our hope and our strategy and our goal is that we would have a portfolio of many of these $100 billion companies that we identified early on in the venture world.
Indeed. The question I wanted to ask is, you talked about companies scaling quickly, internet software type companies, tech, and that is often the starting point for when people think of the word innovation. Where is innovation now? Where are we going to find the next significant differentiator rather than just, if you will, another internet company?
This is a great question, Zayed. I think we are in early stages of yet another important wave and another important shift in our society. Again, today, the development of software today is 5 times more productive than it was 10 years ago. Any person or any group of people can come together and create a software company and be able to scale that very quick. The use of the cloud and the role that the cloud plays in transforming any business into a technology business. Now, let's not forget, Amazon started the cloud revolution over 10 years ago. So now you have internet technologies, you have cloud, you have software development capabilities that are enabling these founders to start tech companies. So, I think we are in early phases of what could potentially be another 10 to 15 years of major innovation and the ability to create great companies. Let me give you an example. In the IT space alone, there's $5 trillion IT market globally today. That's a very, very large market that is moving from one that is based on single transaction to one that is based on service. So that's a very large market. It's competitive and it's a very important market. As a small business, for example, I'm able to tap into any service I want for a small subscription fee online on the cloud and serve my customers. I can run all my business processes. I can transact online. I can deliver to customers. I can capture data about my customers. And all these technologies are available for these small businesses. And let me focus on 2 areas that we are very committed to, and it's a core foundational part of our strategy in our ventures business at Mubadala. Number 1 is financial services and what is referred to as financial technology. This is a key focus area for us at Mubadala. Consumer behavior is shifting, attitudes are changing, and what your expectations are from financial institutions. The ability to have a relationship with a bank through your lifetime without ever physically visiting a bank branch. So we are looking for better banking products, better lending solutions, more advancements in payment infrastructures, using software and artificial intelligence to improve underwriting, to facilitate new business models. We've been investing in the space for the past 4 years. We've built a portfolio of over 15 companies in this space. We think that there's a long way to go and really important innovation in financial services. And COVID really accelerated this major shift, both to cashless and digital payments. Number 1, people taking more control of their money, people taking more control of their financial situation and understanding their financial situation. Platforms like Robinhood, where you're able to open an account and trade online, in less than 5 minutes. And last but not least is businesses that are shifting to the digital world, and businesses that are tapping into all these digital solutions to be able to serve their customers and to thrive. By the way, there's incredible innovation happening in the region. Here in the MENA region and based out of Abu Dhabi, we've invested in 2 fintech companies that have emerged out of Abu Dhabi that are providing cloud-based, mobile-first digital financial solutions for their customers, where you can conduct everything on your phone. The other area that we are very strongly positioned to invest in and win is healthcare. As you know, Mubadala has deep roots in healthcare. It's just a part of our DNA. We've been building healthcare businesses for over a decade. We believe very strongly in not only a successful healthcare business, but in also impacting lives. So this investing with intent, investing with impact, and building with impact is just a part of our DNA at Mubadala. So then you fast forward till today. Well, what's the role that technology is playing with healthcare and in healthcare? We have been very impressed with founders and entrepreneurs that are using software and the internet to transform how clinical trials are conducted. And last but not least is really, how do you use software to serve the customer, to serve the patient? You know, many of us are going to go through this COVID pandemic without ever visiting a doctor, but we will learn about our health. We will be able to diagnose some of our symptoms all through the power of our mobile phone. So over the next 5 years, you will see us at Mubadala really build a large, important, and global portfolio of some of the most important healthcare companies in the world.
Yeah, that's truly fascinating. And obviously with healthcare, there's the old cliche that we always want the ambulance to turn up just before we have our heart attack rather than after the fact. So I think, that is definitely the future. We have more technology in our pocket with wearables and the such like. But one buzzword that you mentioned, but we haven't really spent time on, is this idea of AI, or artificial intelligence. It's been around for a while. It was obviously discussed in the sort of science fiction world many years ago, decades even. Is it a soon to be reality, or is it still a little bit of a pipe dream?
It's very, very real, Zayed. I think we're seeing serious advancements, significant advancements. We have access to immense amount of data, coupled with compute technology that is unparalleled in our history. We are in an age where processing capabilities are very, very quick, and we've invested in a quantum compute company. I think over the next decade, you're going to see significant advancements in how software and artificial intelligence will facilitate very large swaths of our society, whether that's healthcare, as I said, financial services, how we buy food online, how we buy our cars, how we move around cities, how we travel. I think that this is an important area, how we go to school and get educated, how we continue to educate and learn. I think a lot of this has been truly accelerated by COVID. And again, I think the coming of age between software advancement, hardware advancement, and again, consumer behavior and adoption. I think this is a real and important space that cannot be ignored. Now, again, I go back to my earlier point, which is just really, really important for us to remain grounded and to focus on identifying the founders that are shaping the future. This is a business about saying no all the time. 99% of the time that we meet founders, we say no. So what your goal and your system should be developed and aimed at going and identifying that 0.001% founder that you say yes to. And that founder has to believe deep in her bone marrow that she is going to build a very important company. And recognizing that, this business will go through ups and downs. The business model will evolve. The product and technology choices will also evolve. So recognizing that this is, again, a world of uncertainty, and how are you best equipped and steady and ambitious and focused enough to navigate and build through that uncertainty. And Mubadala is just very strongly positioned to do this, and we have proven that we can. The great thing is now we have very clear proof points that we tell founders around the world that we can do.
Two questions combined here. You mentioned finding that 0.01% of founder that you want to work with, and you have to see a lot of people. I think it'd be interesting to know across our various offices, across our network, how many genuine presentations or pitches we see on a weekly or monthly or quarterly basis. And actually, what's the trend in the number of years that we've been involved in terms of perhaps the age, or is there more women presenting as founders? I think that would be quite interesting to see where the volume is and where the trends are in the types of founders that are out there.
Yeah, that's a great question, Zayed. The largest technology markets in the world today are the US and China, notwithstanding the fact that these two markets are increasingly decoupled. But again, we're seeing, the emergence of Europe, very strong companies coming out of Europe. Just over the past 15 years, you've had big tech companies coming out of Europe, including the likes of Spotify, Adyen, just a company recently that was founded in Romania, went public, called UiPath. So we're very, very excited about Europe. We're also, excited about the opportunities here in our home turf. Kareem was the first company to really emerge from Abu Dhabi, two founders in a small office, to really a multi-billion-dollar business that got acquired. So even though, Europe and MENA are sort of trailing the large markets, I think over the next decade, we're going to see more and more of these markets emerge. As you know, we're starting to look at Israel. Israel is a small country, but very, very sophisticated from a founder quality, technological advancement. So that's another area that we're looking to expand. And last but not least is, India and Southeast Asia. We made a very large investment in India last year in a company called Geo. And again, we are focused on expanding into these regions because that is, very large population. It is a digital first population. They're very mobile. They're very tech savvy. They don't have the in-the-ground infrastructure. So the ability to leverage mobile technology and cloud technologies to help people, I think is very, very powerful. To your other question around founders and meeting founders, we meet founders every single day. That's really what we do. My goal with my team is just to be constantly meeting founders and constantly triangulating founders. Going back to our point around a focus, thesis, and a strategy, we build our strategies by meeting, tens and hundreds of founders in specific sectors, and then understanding how they are looking into the future, how they see the future, which ultimately helps shape our specific thesis around a certain area. So, just to go again, example, when we say using technology, software, and AI for drug discovery, we meet companies and founders in that space all the time. So we're able to filter and evaluate and develop a certain view about what are the different technology components and the business model and the partnerships required to build a next generation pharmaceutical company using technology.
Okay. So you talked there about a journey of early stage founders going public. So that's obviously from what is typically called VC, venture capital, and then to sort of a pre-IPO stage or whatever their exit plan might be. Our understanding, or we know that Mubadala's Ventures Group and the disruptive investment platform that it's part of fits a position within our portfolio to cover that spectrum, as you mentioned at the beginning, from the early stage to the sort of pre-profitability, if you will. How does it relate to the way in which you engage with various companies at different stages? And then how does that affect the way we consider in building that industry and creating Abu Dhabi as a tech and innovation hub?
Yeah, I would say in the early stages of investing, Zayed, obviously you have to look at, three things really early on. You have to look at founders and the capability of the founding team. You have to look at the product, how developed or mature the product is. Do they really have the right vision and clarity for a product roadmap? And number three is there a real market for it? And many times, by the way, there is no market. They're creating markets. And you can't de-risk all the way in early stage venture. So in my personal lens, I would always prioritize founders. And then after that, you can evaluate product and market. And like I said, you need to move quick. As the company goes into, different growth stages and grows and starts looking into later stages and potentially pre-IPO and IPO, again, I always like to focus on the founder and the quality of the management team. But you start really looking at evaluating the resiliency of the business, the financial metrics, how efficient they have been with capital use, how efficient they are with acquiring customers and serving customers, how deep is their bench, how broad is their organization. So you have a little bit more data to really dig into and evaluate. And what we've done in the disruptive platform is we've built the capability to evaluate companies early on, and we're now building the capability to evaluate companies later on. What's really important is these two teams are constantly working together and collaborating and discussing things, right? So, the team that's looking at early stage companies, we call it the early signals, I just have insight and understanding into what these early stage founders and what next generation founders are doing and building. So when we're looking at a growth opportunity, it's really important to get the feedback and the insight from the early stage investors. Say, hold on a second, just make sure you look at this technology that's coming out or this product that's coming out, or hey, we met a founder that's looking at this problem very, very differently. Especially in how quick product roadmaps evolve and how quick tech stacks are changing. Every 5 years, things change tremendously in tech. So this early stage capability is a very, very important one for Mubadala. Here in Abu Dhabi and the UAE, we're tackling it from two important dimensions. Number one, we are investing also in other fund managers to build that ecosystem of investors, and to start helping the ecosystem look at early stage companies and growth stage companies. And at the same time, we're putting together, as what we refer to as Hub 71, which is really a startup platform. It's a community that brings together these entrepreneurs, the investors, gives them access to corporates and to markets, helps them with talent development, talent attraction, helps them with landing in Abu Dhabi and growing in Abu Dhabi as a safe place, as an important place to build your company. So, we're looking at the problem and the opportunity in Abu Dhabi from multiple dimensions to create a vibrant startup ecosystem. And we're just starting. I mean, I think we've seen some successful case studies, but I'd say in Hub 71 alone, we have over 100 startups today that are active in the Hub 71 community. And I'm confident to tell you that some of these companies will ultimately emerge to become important global companies.
Ibrahim, that was truly informative and insightful. Thank you very much for your time today. Thank you to all of you for listening to this episode of Mubadala Trends. And please do follow us on social media and share your suggestions. We would love to hear from you. Sign up to our newsletter to receive the latest updates and notifications about future episodes of Mubadala Trends. Thanks again.